What's going on, everyone? Today is September 10th of 2023. My name is Derek, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the earthquake that struck the country of Morocco a couple of nights ago. This earthquake struck on September 8th with just a couple hours to go in the day. However, most people found out about this news on September 9th. And in this video, we're going to be discussing the ancient connection between solar eclipses and earthquakes. Down in the description below, you'll find a video that I made earlier this year when an earthquake struck Turkey and Syria during the Grammys. Now, this video will be in a similar vein. In the book of Revelation, with the King James Bible on the screen right now, we see a verse that says, "And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood." So the sun becoming black is akin to a solar eclipse, while the moon becoming as blood is much like a lunar eclipse. And what we'll focus on today is the connection with solar eclipses to earthquakes, just as we did in the last video. Over 2,000 people have been confirmed dead in this earthquake in Morocco, which once again occurred just before midnight local time, 11:11 at night, with most of the world hearing about this news on September 9th. So we'll focus on September 8th, but we are going to talk about the significance of September 9th as well in this video. If you happen to be new to the channel, we talk about numerology with a strong emphasis on Gematria or Gematria, the ancient practice and observation of the numeric values of letters in the alphabet. This ordinal method splits off into the base 4, where the alphabetic order can be reduced or reversed. And as always, we'll look at the extended methods, both Latin and standard, large number methods, which mirror the ancient Greek isopsephy and Hebrew gematria charts. So, in order to understand the eclipse code, it's important to understand the numerology of Skull and Bones and Yale University. Now, in October, in just a few weeks, Yale University will turn 322 years old. Yale is home to the Skull and Bones Society, which has the number 322 stamped on its emblem. And of course, now we're in the year 2023, which contains these same digits. And when we look at these two great American total solar eclipses, something comes into focus that makes this all very intriguing. Of course, skull and crossbones with this 223 value in Gematria as well. And the bones under the skull create a cross, just like the two great American total solar eclipses. Now, these two eclipses are separated by exactly 82 lunar phases. A lunar phase measures from new moon to new moon. This is roughly 29.5 days on average. 82, also the first number with 666 Gematria. Yale University turns 322 years old on October 9th, which is exactly 82 sidereal months after the first Great American Eclipse. A sidereal month measures the lunar orbit in relation to the stars around the Earth, which is roughly 27.3 days. And this is certainly no mistake. Consider how the Saros cycle is made up of 223 lunar phases, or synodic months. So this 223, 322, a very significant eclipse number. Now that first Great American Eclipse was on August 21st, the date written 8/21. In the year 2026, there will be another total eclipse on August 12th, a date with the same 3 digits. That eclipse ends over the country of Spain, right near Morocco, where the earthquake this week took place. Furthermore, Both of these dates have primary numerology of 66. This super significant eclipse number. In Latin ordinal, the word eclipse equals 66. Now, these two eclipses, August 21st and August 12th, are separated on the calendar by 11 months and 22 days. 11/22. Now, this is interesting because when you measure from this first Great American Total Solar Eclipse to the earthquake in Morocco, you get 2,211 days to September 9th. And 2211 is the 66th triangular number. If you add every number 1 through 66, you get 2211. Not only was this Great American Eclipse 107 months before the eclipse near Morocco, but the earthquake in Morocco fell a span of 1,070 days before the eclipse that ends there. Now, if you saw my video on the earthquake in Turkey and Syria, the number 107 was very significant. Of course, this earthquake happened at the same time as the Grammys, 17 minutes after it began. Earthquake 107, just like the words kill and NBA. And this Grammys was hosted in the same arena that the Los Angeles Lakers play just a few days after LeBron James broke the scoring record. So this number, 107, has already been coded into earthquakes, as I've explained in the past. In the language of Gematria, both earthquake and Morocco sum to 107. Back to this 2211 number. 2,211 days after the first Great American Eclipse. The earthquake struck at 2211 UTC time, just 1 second after 2211. Now, the number 107, we'll get to this in a little bit, but back to this 66, right? Because 2211 is the 66th triangular number. If you multiply 3 times 22, the digits on the skull and bones emblem, you get a product of 66. And in Gematria, skull and bones is a supermatch with 66. Again, both of these eclipses on dates with 66 numerology. Now, in order to truly understand what's going on here, we need to look closely at the government officials. And we start with the mayor of Marrakesh, where this earthquake struck, Fatima Azara al-Mansouri, who assumed office in 2021, but this isn't her only job. She's also the Minister of National Planning, Urban Planning, Housing, and Urban Policy, a national department in Morocco. When Morocco gained its independence officially in 1956, the king was Mohammed V. Notice how the word king equals 66. And Mayor Mansouri was born 66 years after Mohammed V. When you turn this number upside down, you get a 99. This connects to the date that the world learned about this earthquake, September 9th, 99. Mansouri was born on a date with 99 numerology. 1 plus 3 plus 19 plus 76. This first Great American Eclipse was the first coast-to-coast eclipse in America in 99 years, whereas the second total eclipse will be will fall on the 99th day of a leap year. And Mayor Mansouri's birthday, January 3rd, a lot like the number 13, which is the only number to have gematria of 99 in ordinal. So looking again at the 107, these two eclipses 107 months apart. The earthquake 1,070 days before the eclipse over Morocco. The city of Marrakesh, where the damage was focused, was even established in the year 1070. Again, Morocco 107, just like earthquake. Mansouri, also the head of this ministry, and when you write this ministry out in Gematria, in this special capitals added cipher, notice how this ministry's name sums to 1070, just like the year that Marrakesh was established. On top of that, look at the date that Mansouri became the minister of that department, October 7th, or 10-7. Now, if you add the numbers 107 and 107, you get a value of 214. And this stands out because in the alphabetic order, Fatima Zahra Mansouri, her common name, has a value of 214. Now, when you measure from the next total solar eclipse to the earthquake, you get 214 days. On top of that, the last total solar eclipse, which was in 2021, was a span of 21 months and 4 days before the earthquake. In fact, if you measure from the earthquake in Turkey and Syria earlier this year to the date of this earthquake, again, it's 214 days. This skull and bones code is heavily stamped on this woman. She was born in the year 76, which is the gematria that Skull and Bones has matching with Kingdom of Morocco. When you use an ampersand and write out Skull and Bones, it sums to 130 and 31. And again, she was born on the 3rd of January, or 1/3. On top of that, this earthquake fell 31 days before Yale's special anniversary, turning 322 years old. But this is where things get wild. In Latin gematria, Skull and Bones has this value of 572, which is the same digits as its standard method value, 752. In standard gematria, Kingdom of Morocco sums to 572, and Mayor Mansouri's full name has Sumerian gematria of 1572. On the date of this earthquake, she was 572 months and 5 days old. Think about how Marrakesh, Morocco equals 571. And if you're a deep follower of Freemasonry, you're familiar with the rule of Kollel, which states that 1 can be added or subtracted from any value. And I normally don't bring this rule up, but how wild is this? It's just 1 off. I actually talked about a very similar alignment in my video on Jimmy Buffett in my last super stream. I pointed out how he was 1,572 weeks and 5 days old when Margaritaville was released. And he died 5,275 days after the South Park Margaritaville episode, all connecting to this Skull and Bones code. And remember, Jimmy Buffett was 76, a number I just mentioned being connected to Morocco and El Mansouri. When you look at Fatima Mansouri's full age on this date, September 9th, when we found out about the earthquake, she was the 2003rd prime number of days old. And that stood out because New Haven, Connecticut, where Yale University is located, is home to the 203 dialing code. And her common name even has Latin gematria of the 203rd prime number, 1237. So I want to talk about another riddle that we're looking at that connects to the book of Revelation. And this has to do with the number of the beast. which of course most people recognize as 666. So Revelation 13:18 is the verse of the Bible that reveals the number of the beast. 636. Now what we're looking at here is the 229th verse of Revelation, 229. The earthquake fell 2,209 days after the first Great American Total Solar Eclipse. It also fell 999 days after the total eclipse that occurred over Argentina. And that was the date where we had the first approval for a coronavirus vaccine. And of course, coronavirus, all about the number 666. I made a video back in April of 2020 talking about this. Now, of course, this is an upside down 666, and that eclipse also had numerology of 66. Here is wisdom, number of the beast, number of a man, and his number is. All of these numbers, phrases have gematria of 66. And this is the number we kicked off the video talking about. El-Mansuri was also 1,229 weeks old when Mohammed VI became king. He currently rules Morocco. But this 2209, measuring to the first eclipse in America, the number 2209 is a square number, and it's the 47th square number. Notice how this earthquake also fell 4 years and 70 days before the 2019 total eclipse. Or after it, I should say. And think about how beast equals 47 in ordinal gematria. And Revelation 4:7 is the verse that first describes the four beasts. The fourth prime number is 7. Mayor Fatima Mansouri of Marrakesh is currently 47 years old. Total eclipse 47 in reduction. The circle 47. Remember, the Freemasons set their compass to 47 degrees. So let's dive a little bit deeper into this whole skull and bones riddle with Morocco and why this nation is so relevant to this code. Independence Day in Morocco is celebrated on November 18th, which is the date in history that Mohammed V ascended to the throne, the 18th of November. November 18th is the 322nd day of the year, the big skull and bones number. And Fatima Mansouri's common name has gematria of 322. Notice how her name also has matching 980 gematria with Mohammed V of Morocco. 980 values that they share. And think about the date of this earthquake, September 8th or 8-9. And although Independence Day in Morocco is celebrated on November 18th, they actually officially gained their independence on April 7th, which was the 98th day of a leap year. 98. A lot like September 8th, 9-8. Now, when you write out 223 or 322 in gematria, you get matching 295 gematria with skull and bones. And measuring from Independence Day in Morocco, the 322nd day of the year, to the date of the earthquake, gives us 295 days. Using prime numbers, Marrakesh equals 295. September 9th, also a date with numerology connecting to skull and bones and skull and crossbones. In the alphabetic order, skull and bones sums to 149. This is the same value as 66. Notice how both Marrakesh and Mohammed V have reverse gematria of 149. Marrakesh, founded in the year 1070. 1070 sums to 149. Skull and Bones is also known as the Brotherhood of Death. Brotherhood of Death and Death have gematria of 187 and 1807. A lot of people recognize this as the homicide code, thanks to rap music out of the state of California. Well, Marrakesh equals 187 with capital letters, and Fatima Zahra Mansouri sums to 1807 in standard. This is another number connected to total eclipse 187. Also, the ministry that she runs on the side has matching 611 gematria with Brotherhood of Death. On top of all that, her full name sums to 118, just like Mohammed V of Morocco, 1180. This is the value of both death and homicide in Latin. So let's bring this full circle and show how Mohammed V of Morocco is completely synced up with this earthquake. When Morocco officially gained its independence from Spain, April 7th of 1956, this was 10,369 days after Mohammed V became king. So here we have the digits 10369. And when you take this man's full name and look at the reverse caps method of gematria, which is just the alphabetic order flipped around with capital letters used, notice how his full name has gematria of 1369. Well, if you measure from the date he was born to the date of the earthquake this week, you get exactly a span of 1,369 months. August 10th of 1909. But this isn't the only relevant measurement. You also get 41669. Now the 41 stands out because Skull and Bones is 41, so is King, so is Mohammed V, all 41. But the 669 also stands out because the 669th prime number is 4999. This earthquake happened exactly 4,999 weeks after he became the king of Morocco in 1927. Also, when you write out New Haven, the home of the Skull and Bones Society, you get very similar digits. 1699. Well, 1699 is the 266th prime number. And when you write out Morocco, it equals 266. Thanks to everybody for watching. As always, check out the links in the description for more, or if you'd like to support the work and website. That'll do it for this one. Peace, love, God bless, and we'll talk to you next time.
See ya.